I think it's one of those introductions where I say, now for something a little bit different. This is the third time we've come back to the Rhodes Minnis circuit, and the buzz around the pits is fantastic this morning. I've been trying to really prompt the riders and say, you know, it's a bit different. It's not your two straights and two corners. And really, I think what I'm getting back from the riders, you'll see in some of the interviews, is that they're looking forward to it. It is a different track, and we know it's going to be a lot of hard racing and a lot of hard riding. There's a great lineup in the 500cc solo, a great lineup in the 1000cc chairs. We've got the added incentive of the ACU-backed under-21s, and that does promise to be some spectacular racing. I really wouldn't like to pick who it's going to be. Chris Harris is here to defend his title. We've got lots of other young contenders. Promise to be some great racing. The usual additive as well with the Grand Slam is that we've got a lot of riders of yesteryear coming back to say hello to the sport again. I'm joined by Dave Stallworthy, who's hopefully going to get a word with some of those before we get the meeting underway. 32 races in all, some great races ahead, and some very, very hard rides as well. Promises to be another great day. This is the third of the Grand Slams. Of course, we talk about this track and being something a little bit different, but Chris Harris, great to see you here. Is this the first time you've been to this circuit?
No, I was here last year. I won the under 21 day last year, so yeah, it's a nice circuit. I like the shape of it, and it's something different.
Well, it certainly is something different, but I mean, you know, we're always pleased to see you slotting in a few of these meetings because you're so busy with the speedway. I mean, you still enjoy the grass, though, do you?
Yeah, Grasstrack I still enjoy it, still my first love, and hopefully next year I can get in and do a few more, and hopefully get into some long tracks if I can. You know, that's what I want to get into. So hopefully we can put on a good show until we can come up with it.
Well, I think if you get the under-21s again here today, then I think you'll be certainly putting your name in the frame. But we know with all the big meetings you've done, I mean, I can't see why you're not going into the long tracks, to be honest.
Well, they said about it last year, but they said that they didn't think I was interested in it because of my speedway commitments. But you know, we're riding the Elite League now, so there's not many meetings on the weekends anyway. So if I get into it, I'd like to do a few. It'd be interesting.
I certainly will. I mean, I hope you make it for next season. And all I can say really is the best of luck with something a bit different today. All the best. Cheers, Craig. Well, I've talked a lot about the shape of this circuit, but I think one of the added incentives to today's meeting is that we do include the under-21 championships. And Steve, you must be thinking you're in with as much chance as anybody else?
Yeah, I've really come here to win it today, so I should be a little bit peed off if I don't. So, I mean, Grandad's hoping he's had all the bikes done, polished them all out, especially for today, so hopefully I can put a good show on for him.
Well, I mean, we know you're a very capable rider, and I think, you know, what I've got to really add to that is that it's a strong entry, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
there's really is a handful of riders I could say I can't choose between them.
No.
You know, it's going to be some tough racing.
Yeah, it's going to be some tough racing. If we can make the game, get out there and go for it, we'll have half a chance of getting there.
Well, you certainly will. And I mean, what I've talked a lot about is how this track is a little bit different. I mean, you got the dips, you know, it's not a traditional sort of speedway shape, is it?
No, it's a bit out of the ordinary, so we just have to get out there and get on with it, really.
Well,
same for everyone.
I'm trying to speak to as many people as I can. I wish you the best of luck, Steve.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a tough one.
Thanks so much.
Cheers, mate. Well, I think when I say that the under-21s is going to be a tough competition, Lewis, you must be in with a chance, aren't you?
Well, I'll give it my best shot. Track looks good. I want to get out of practice. Raring to go.
Yeah, it's, I mean, what I've sort of laboured a lot on this morning really is that this track's a little bit different, isn't it? You know, it's not a traditional two straights and two bends. It's, you know, offers something else as well, doesn't it?
Well, so I've only rode it once, and that was a good experience. And like I say, I want to get out there and give it my best shot.
And I mean, you know, really what I've tried to do is define it down, but I really can't for the life of me think who's going to get this under 21. It really is going to be tight, isn't it?
Yeah, the lineup is everyone's in with a chance. And I don't like you. I don't want to say who's going to be there. So.
Well, best of luck, mate. I know you've had some good rides already this season, so you must be as strong a competition as we've got all around the pits here. So.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck. Cheers.
Yeah.
Well, from a sidecar perspective, I really had to have a word with you, John. I mean, it's a different track, is what I've been saying, really, when talking to people this morning. And from a sidecar perspective, is it very different?
Yeah, it is. It's really different. There's nothing, you know, like this at all. Yeah, it's not a track where you can just sort of like go flat out. You've got to use your head a little bit, and yeah, there's some sort of nasty little turns that are on cambers, and it's good. It makes you think.
Yeah, I mean, really looking at the lineup, I mean, we usually say that it could be anybody out of the top 10 sort of thing, but you know, you've won it twice. It'd be nice to get it a third time, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can make it through on the trot. But I mean, it's going to be hard. It gets harder every week, but yeah, we'll give it our best shot.
And obviously, thinking about next week, you've got the Masters coming up. This is a good forerunner to it.
Yes, right. We still haven't got our a good engine yet. We're still using an old engine. Roger, he's been flat out. We've done so many engines this year. We don't know what we're doing really, but he's promised us an engine for next week. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we should have one.
And Jason, if I bring you in, obviously looking forward to a good day. Is it very different from a passenger's perspective?
Oh yeah, I mean on the passenger side of things, it's a different track, so that makes it more exciting for us. You've got to work a little bit harder. But I think more than anything for us today is really kick-starting the season. We haven't had a good start. You know, we've had a lot of engine failures, and you know the confidence is not as good as it should be. And I think if we can have a good week this week, we'll go into next week in good stead. Now, that's what we're aiming for today, really.
Oh, absolutely. Well, very best of luck, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Cheers. Well, keeping on the same theme that I was talking about a moment ago, really, Ivor, what I'm saying about this track is it's a great forerunner to the Masters next week, but it isn't your traditional 2 straights and 2 corners, is it?
No, it's you either love it or hate it. I think I like it. I find people say it's a track you've got to give respect to. I actually think the opposite. I think you've got to ride it hard. If you start edging, then it doesn't work. We've had a couple of good results here in the last couple of years. Just like to win it, that's all.
Absolutely. And a change of passenger for today. Simon, you're having a go with Ivor this afternoon.
Yep, the old team back together. Obviously, John's not riding due to Matt's crash. Feel that he can't ride. So Mick's done his shoulder. So I'm free, and Ivor needs a passenger. So see if we can conjure up a bit of magic.
Well, absolutely. I was talking to Jason Glennie a moment ago, and he's saying it's a track that really passengers can feel influential because it's, you know, the big corners.
Oh, definitely, because pitch corner is totally different to the bomb hole, and yeah, you can actually ride the pitch corner speedway style because it's nice, long, sweeping. But the bottom corner, you've really got to, excuse the phrase, but work your ass off to and it looks very green down there as well. So yeah, that's going to be the make or break part. I think the bottom bomb hole.
And I think you know, as I just mentioned to Ivor, really, the forerunner to the Masters, it couldn't be a better lineup, could it?
Oh no, of course. Well, you could call this the Masters, really. So yeah, have a good win here, and yeah, if we do win today, hopefully Ivor won't want Mick on the back for next week. So.
Well, there you go, Ivor. That's a challenge for today.
Absolutely, yeah.
Best of luck, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, I've tried to talk to as many of the sidecar crews as I can, but Colin, what I've been saying to a lot of the guys is that, you know, have a good day today, and really you're set up for the Masters next week, aren't you? And of course I can't forget that a big circuit last weekend at the Poacher, and you were successful there.
It was a very big track, and I'm not usually a big track fan, but I did like it, did enjoy it, and yeah, we did go well. I didn't think we was the fastest bike there, but we did the business in the final, so that was all that mattered. Yeah, Masters next week, so like I said, it'd be nice to go out and win this and battle the cages for next week, but you've also got to, you know, you've got sort of caution in mind as well, aren't you, ready for next week, you know. You don't want anything to happen this week, ready for next week, but I suppose you can't worry too much about that. You know, today obviously you'll, you know, no point being here.
No, that's right. I mean, obviously what I've really been saying this morning is, you know, this is something a bit different, isn't it? You know, it's not your traditional 2 straights, 2 corners. It's a workers' track. I mean, you've had experience here. I know you've ridden it since it's been going, Grand Slam. An unfortunate experience in that first year. It looked like being your final, but you know, you must enjoy this sort of circuit.
I do like it. Yeah, that first year, like I said, that was ours really, but shit happens. But no, I do like the track. So Paul Junior with me this year. He's still learning, but it'll be a good one for him. But no, we'll be alright. I'm fairly confident we'll have a decent day.
Absolutely. No. Well, I wish you the best of luck, mate. As I say, if you can make it 3 weeks in a row, then you'll be top of the tree.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, I talked a lot this morning about the under-21s, the track being a bit different, but also I shouldn't forget that we've also got this additional Kent Cams trophy, which Paul Whitelam, you're leading at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, we're leading it. We was a bit lucky in the first round, but Duncan messed up on the last corner. But we was there to take it, so we are leading. So.
And I think what I've been saying to a lot of people, really, I mean, this is a big 3 weeks, isn't it? I mean, the big Poacher track last weekend, we've got the Grand Slam this weekend, and the Masters next weekend. You know, if you really string it together now, you're going to be good there in the Masters, aren't you?
I hope so. I'd like to be in the. I'd like to win it, but we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of people there that can do well. So.
Well, there is. I think if I can bring you in, Kev, really what I've been saying to a lot of the passengers. This is hard work for passengers, isn't it?
Oh, this track's very physical. I missed out on it last year because of my shoulder injury I'd done on the Isle of Wight, but the first year I rode it, I absolutely loved it. It was, well, I've never ridden a track like it. It's such a rush, especially for us coming into turn 1 and 2. It's so fast, and as I say, it's very physical on the passenger, very physical indeed.
That's good. I say, very important week, really. I mean, looking forward to next weekend. Big day today. Wish you the best of luck, guys.
Hopefully, see what we can do. Cheers, Jim.
Cheers.
Well, we've now seen Jim with the modern riders talking to Bob's video. Now I've got some of the old classic riders and also some of the classic machines. First of all, we're going to have a chat to Ivor Thomas, who's brought along a couple of Rudge machines. And Ivor's the brother of Barry Thomas, who used to race for Hackney Speedway in England. But Ivor was a top Grasstracker back in the 1960s. And, well, tell us about these Rudges then, Ivor. What have you got here then?
Well, this one was built up from bits and pieces. I was helped along by Jim Gregory with that. As you know, Jim is a connoisseur of Rudges, isn't he? I managed to get half a machine, and from there we've gradually got it together. The one on that one over there,
that's for Grass, that's the Speedway.
That's Speedway really, but it's been used in the vintage.
Right.
Yeah, on the grass track in the vintage.
So you used to race this one?
Yes.
Actually on the vintage grass tracks?
Yes.
So what do they? That's the Martin Rudge Jap. What do they date to?
Sorry.
What do they date to? You know, what period? 1930.
That dates from about 38.
38.
Yeah.
So that's quite a young Rudge Jap compared with this one. Is that that's a Rudge Jap or Rudge?
That's a Jap.
That's a Jap. Yeah, with a
4-valve.
And that's a Martin Jap frame.
Yes.
Yep. And then you've got a 4-valve Rudge.
And that's a 4-valve.
And that's from what? 1930.
1929.
1929. It's interesting. People talk about 4 valves and 2 valves these days.
That's right.
Yeah. Obviously,
it makes you wonder when it's going to change back to 2 again.
Yeah, because obviously 4 valves started it off, didn't it? Yeah. When you used to race yourself originally, what did you race? Because back in the 60s it would have been Japs, wasn't it?
50s I rode a matchless scrambler then.
A matchless?
Yeah. And then I put
was it Culver's used to race mattresses as well, didn't they?
Levelby and even Melton Simmons rode one for him and mattresses.
Right.
Yeah, I rode a mattress in those days and then I put it in a paper frame.
So this Jap then, would that be a similar bike that you would have rode in the 50s and 60s?
No, it would have been basically a scrambler. I went to work on it.
Right.
Put the wife on the back, go to the meeting, Stoke and church.
That's got the mattress.
And took it down and ride it home.
You used to ride it to the meetings, even in the 60s, and then ride it back home again?
Yeah.
Now I realise they did this in the early years, like the pioneer years.
That was about 1950, 57 to about 61. Yeah.
Should we ask Calvin Tatum to ride his bike home tonight then, shall we?
Well, we could do. I don't know whether he will or not.
Of course, you were racing when Calvin Tatum's father was racing. Spud Tatum, weren't you? Yeah, that's right.
Back there.
Well, we were in your back garden, basically in Kent. Do you still race this machine here?
Not anymore, no. I keep falling off, as you well know.
Well, you had a very famous, I remember a few years ago, you had a very famous bike. You had a cotton...
I've still got that.
Was Gemma Blacklock's machine?
Gemma Blacklock's, yeah.
Yeah, which was a famous rider in the South East.
It's the first bike to win the South Eastern Championship in 33. Blacklock's then sponsored Burt Roger, the Speedway rider, who then used it in 46 and got the South Eastern Championship again all those years later on the same bike.
Now, if I remember rightly, you found it in a hedge.
It's in Burt Roger's back garden. That was a jungle, yeah, at that particular time. Yeah.
How did you know it was there? How did you know it was there?
I've rode it on several occasions all over the place, and that. We went to Tetra on it, and Zarnvish in Slovakia.
So you've rode it at these tracks?
Yeah.
You rode it at Tetra?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes, I think.
Well, enjoy
You've seen the car now, haven't you?
Pardon?
You have seen the car.
Many times, yeah, because it's in immaculate condition now. Burgundy tank. Yeah.
It's a good car.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, I'm sure this will create a lot of interest today here. Have a great day, and we'll probably see you with all the other ex-greats out on the track later on.
You look after yourself.
Thanks very much, Ivor. Well, we move over now to a Jap. You've just seen it. Bob's zoomed in on the Jap. Now, you've got a very famous Jap here because this is actually That was owned by Cyril Roger,
This
wasn't
is
it, Frank?
the famous Kent rider who rode on the grass, and well known in Kent, called his name Cyril Rogers. There was two brothers, Bert and Cyril.
And Bob, another one.
Famous Kent people. Three brothers,
Yeah.
yes. Bob. Sorry about Bob, I never met him. This is Jack's bike. I bought this off of Cyril in 1970. Well, he virtually gave it to me. He rode his bike in the World Championship in that period, and also something very interesting. In the World Championship of that period, and he also his pictures here on them boards have been riding the Lew Cross on this actual bike, England versus Australia, and so I've had it all these years.
Is it in original condition?
It's in original condition, exactly as it came from all them years ago. And Cyril's still alive, and he lives down on the coast here. But Bert sadly passed away a couple of years ago, and they were both equal. They both rode for England, and it's what Bert gave to my wife Audrey. You know, she's passed away now.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And that is Bert's medal. Look. And he gave that to Audrey.
England versus Australia Test Series, 1951 to 52. B. Roger. And on the other side is Australian Speedway Control Board. And so that must be very rare, I would think. Would be.
He wanted her to have it, you know?
Sorry?
He wanted her to have it. Bert Rogers wanted to have it about 2 years before he died.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very nice. And she cherished it. She made a little case for it. See?
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice. Anyway, I haven't had it out for about 3 years, and I thought, well, this chap said bring it down here today, which I have done, you know, and it still runs. I think I was the last one to ride it.
You're going to take it round later on, are you?
No,
With the parade? No, you're not going to take it round.
It hasn't got nothing on it, no cutouts or nothing, has it? But I mean, I'm pleased I've still kept it.
Lovely, yeah.
Because I had the Vic Dagon bike, didn't I? And
that's right.
A few others. And the Dougie.
Are they all gone?
Yeah, they've all gone. I'm still doing my sprinting, straight line stuff, you know.
Did you ever ride grass tracks as well?
Pardon?
Did you ride on the grass?
No, I've done a few hill climbs when I was younger.
Yeah.
Mainly it's all been road racing and straight line sprinting. You know, I use Jap engines in my sprinters.
You're going to start this up later?
Well, yeah, it goes all right.
We'll listen out for the sounds of the Jap then later on.
Pull it on the wheel, it might go later on. You know?
You start it up there during the break. That'd be lovely. Because that'll
nice bit of nostalgia.
It'd be very interesting to see the crowd and then actually hear what a Jap used to sound like. Because not just on the speedway but on the grass tracks. Lovely.
I say, yeah. I love the old bike. I'm glad I've kept it out of all the others. And
fantastic.
I've got all the photographs.
Yeah. And you'll get a lot of interest here today.
I have. On Dave Spain, who sponsored Cyril Rogers, a well-known Grasstrack person.
That's Dave Spain Senior.
Spain.
Yeah.
And he sponsored Cyril Rogers on the grass.
All right.
And
has he been over to see you? Has he?
Pardon?
Because Dave Spain Jr. rode last year in the parade.
He's been passed on a lot of years, but his grandchildren are here today, I think, and they all recognise the fact that he sponsored Cyril Rogers on the bike, and they all know the alterations on the engine, where the carburettor goes in, where it's welded in there, it's raised in rather than tube and everything, and that they realised.
But did you do that with Cyril Roger?
Did
you do that with Cyril?
He sponsored Cyril, you know, on it. But of course,
anyway, Frank, we're
still riding. We're going until he was about 40, you know.
Blimey. Well, what we do, we're going to see a few of the riders. And nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Now we've got a bit of a legend here called George Cross. We're going to be talking to George later on, and we're also going to be seeing this bike out on the track. Now, George, tell us about this sidecar outfit you got here today.
Well, I built it in 1959 for the National Championship, and it proved very lucky for us because Freddie French, myself and Doug Johns took the whole shebang. Freddie
That's
took
right, you won the centre title, didn't you?
Yes. Freddie took the individual, and Doug and I made up the team when we took the South Midland, award. Took the award for the South Midland Centre, rather. South Midland Centre.
For the national,
for the national.
That's right. So what actually is the outfit?
Well, basically, it started off life really as a 99 Dominator.
Right. That's a Triumph, yeah?
Norton.
A Norton?
Yeah.
Why has it got Triumphs down here?
Yeah, well, I used a number of engines in this. I used Manx Norton. I used this Triumph, which is a Bonneville. It's now on petrol. It used to be on methanol. And I also used Mr. Woodrow's old Jap, which I didn't have a lot of success with.
That's Hilton Woodrow's here today?
Yeah, but we're not going to that one. It's,
right, okay. It's controversy, is there?
Well, you've only got to mention a certain cam, and he sort of doesn't want to know.
Oh, tell us more.
Oh, I couldn't really. No, because Hilt's a decent sort of bloke. I don't mind him. He's all right. The only thing I was against Hilt was when it came to handicapping, he used to really hang me back, and my mate used to say, God, isn't he got to let us go? And I said, well, it's evening lot.
If I may just come in here and I just explain to viewers that, of course, years ago, when you say handicapping, they used to have handicap races where some of the good ones were at the back and had to fight their way through.
That's it.
I just sort of explain that to our modern viewers, because of course we don't see much handicap racing these days.
No, it's a pity really.
Carry on.
But I tackled him about it, and I said, why is it you bang me pretty hard on the handicaps then, Hilt? He said, well, the reason I do that, he said, because I know that I can bring the best out in you. He said, once I see you champing at the bit, I know it's all systems go. And that was the story of that. But
so this machine, is it in exactly how you raced it in 1959?
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely.
Now for those who were here last year at Rhodes Minnis, this is the machine you took out on the track.
It had not been started for 23 years, and I'd never ridden it, you know. And I decided that I'd like to come out again. Unfortunately, my wife died.
Oh, sorry.
Sort of left me to sort of find my own ways, the saying is. And I kept looking at my machines, which I've got quite a few of, and I thought, well, the only way to get over this is to get amongst the bikes, which is what I love, and that's it.
Now, I believe you're about 80, is it?
I'm 87.
87?
Yeah.
Now, I have been told, reliably, that you just bought at least a chassis or a bike ready to go sand racing.
Oh,
you're going to start sand racing, now you're 87. Is that right?
Well, I don't see why not. It keeps you fit in the winter, you know. Yeah, it's minus engine. I'm looking round now for a suitable engine for it.
Is it an old Lynx, isn't it?
It's an old X-Paddy Lynch.
X-Paddy Lynch,
and I believe it was built, as far as I know, in 74.
Right.
But it's in remarkably good condition. It's never been rolled. And I thought it's a shame to let it, you know, gather dust and sort of be forgotten.
So with the sand racing, is it? I've never actually been to one of the ones up at Mablethorpe. Is it like a big 1,000-yard oval?
Yes. Yeah. It varies from meeting to meeting according to what time the tide's been in and out.
Right.
And there's patches where you can be going along and all of a sudden you disappear.
Really?
Yeah, it's really soft. It's a bit spectacular.
If you once are you planning to race next year?
Well, if I can get this engine in it, I was hoping to get organised because
ready for this winter.
Yeah, I don't think I can make it now somehow.
Well, surely you must be or will be the oldest oval track rider in the country. Racing soon then, because obviously Adrian Kessel in Cornwall I think is 80 this year, but he's never had a break. But if you're starting up again at 87, you'll be 88 next year. I think there's a big story in there for our sport, isn't there?
Well, if you go back to the motorcycle news, there was a cutting in there, I think it was in 61, and the only two people was myself and oh dear, now what's his name? He used to ride for Bellevue, Speedway rider.
Jack Parker?
No.
Bill Kitchen?
Bill Kitchen and I was the only two at the time.
Right.
That was in 61, and the caption on it was, "Is George Cross the daddy of them all?"
Yeah.
Which a lot of people took to make it and all the rest of it. I didn't keep my head down for a few months, but it was.
So they'll be calling you the great granddaddy of them all if you start at 87 racing. That's unbelievable.
I'm trying to make the 9-hole mark if I can.
Well, we wish you luck.
I'm doing this basically to try and get some of the blokes who thinks they're old, that used to race and that, to come out again and have a wobble round, so we can put on a little show like we used to, and all the rest of it, you know.
Now, with the modern day sand racing, it'll be right-handed, won't it?
Oh, that'll be right-handed, yeah.
But you're only used to riding left-handed, aren't you?
No, I raced this right-handed.
Did you?
Oh yeah, this is the one. I mean, it's never been done before and it hasn't been done since. I mean, to win a national with a left-handed outfit, I mean, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah, terrific. Anyway, well look, will this be going in the parade, by the way, later?
Well, I don't know what's on. I know I'm out about quarter past.
You're out soon, mate?
Yeah, soon.
Right.
So I don't know what's going. It all depends how generous they are with their laps, you know.
Okay, well we'll see you later on.
I've got young Simon Wall. He rode with me 2 or 3 times. He was at Hawley the other week.
Yeah, I know Simon.
Yeah, and seeing as that he's never ridden left-handed, he made a damn good job of it.
Well, he's obviously going to be an expert now. We're going to look forward to seeing him out there, aren't we?
Okay. He's had to ride with the old man.
We'll see you later on, okay?
Yeah, surely. Yeah.
And if we get a chance, have another chat. But if not, we'll look forward to seeing you on the racetrack.
As long as you realise that I'm doing this only for me, not for my own enjoyment, which I do get, but it's to try and get some of the oldies out.
Lovely.
And I think that there is some of them lurking about.
Well, there's one, John Burrows.
Well,
we'll put John
rode with me at one time.
Yeah.
He did, didn't you? Well, I went.
So why are you having Simon Wall out today when you could have John Burrows?
Well, yeah, but he's pressed. I think I pressed my luck a bit with John because he hasn't been at it for some time now. If I get the urge, I'm sorry, but it's got to go, you know.
Well, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go because we're going to be talking to a few of the guys out on the track, and also you'll be going around.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see you later on. Thank you very much, George. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're looking at the moment on a 250cc machine that was actually recently restored by Dave Hemsley, and this is the 250cc machine that Dave Palmer rode in the 1967 National Championships. And just a small thing went wrong with it. Just when he was leading the 250 championship, Fred Watts, the great Fred Watts, the late Fred Watts, actually won the British Championship in the 250 class that day. But Dave Palmer comes home very, very close to riding to win that championship on this actual bike. Moving along, we've got also a Greaves Scrambler. That's actually a Greaves Grasstrack bike, but moving further along, we've got a Greaves Scrambler. And although this wasn't Dave Palmer's bike, this is a bike that's similar to what Dave would have used to race when he was racing scrambles before he went on to grass tracks. Well, we now come up to a Jap number 341, and this is a 250cc machine, and this was owned by Ted Stokes. Ted Stokes was a top rider, won Southeast Centre Championships and various other titles down here in the southeast. And this has been restored, and this is a Jap. This is actually, I believe this is owned by Steve Higgins, who still actually races. And also we've got 341, we've got a 250 and a 500 machine there as well. And well, Dennis Goodacre's just arrived on the scene. Hello, Dennis.
Right, mate.
Dennis, of course, 3 times national champion, on the front cover of a famous book.
Well, that's it, mate. That's it.
The Story of Grasstrack Racing,
yeah.
with George Bewley. Tell us, what can you tell me about Ted Stokes' bikes? Anything?
Not a great lot. Not a great lot, really.
Was your bikes different to this?
No, well, similar, very similar, because we had Hagon ones, you see, which was virtually the same. If you'd have asked me in the first place, I would have said, yes, that's an Hagon, but I think Stokes had done his own, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a special, wasn't it? Special.
I think he'd done his own, but it's all more or less the same as an Hagon.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I sort of had the choice of an Hagon or a Tatum, but I couldn't make up my mind which to have, which suited me best. Jimmy Sewell had one of each, and then he liked the shorter one. I liked the longer one because I was always sitting.
Yes.
And so I went for 2 Hagans when we stopped building our own anyway, you know.
Have you got any old bikes at home?
No, I wished I had.
Well, this is quite incredible actually. We got a trailer just turning up with some more old bikes on here. I see Dave Spain's bikes on the back of that van over there. Yeah. So obviously Bob's video find it very difficult because actually they were all in one area, so they're actually scattered around the place. Yeah. We're going to be taking you out very shortly and talking to you on the inside the track there. So I just got to make sure that we're not out there talking when George Cross is doing his demonstration. It could be hairy.
Yeah.
Now, what memories have you got of your father, Sid Jarvis, senior racing? Because he really was a top rider here in the South East.
I can always remember when I was like 6 years old, I used to go crazy because I used to get a left-handed cut and I didn't think it was fair. Being young, I didn't understand what it was all about.
So they went actually the other way around on the solo, you say?
Yeah, they used to give it nearly a lap handicap in the early 50s. Especially, I think it was Barham was one of the tracks, and the Old Range Hatch Circuit.
So, when did you actually race yourself?
1961.
1961.
The bike I had here today was actually the first bike I raced.
So, and was it your father's bike?
It was his, yes.
So if anybody wants to come and have a look at the old Sid Jarvis bike, where are you parked?
Oh, I'm parked just past the Berwick area, about 200 yards. Okay.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Sid Jarvis Jr. Right, now we've got a gentleman here, everybody. Some of you may have not have heard of some of the riders who used to race years ago in the Eastern Centre, but this is a gentleman called Jack Hubbard. Now, for those of you who followed the history of Grasstrack racing, Jack was a top rider who won several Eastern Centre championships. I won't tell everybody about it, you can.
Well, first of all, I was a scrambler, and when I retired from that, I went on to the grass. I found it a lot easier, and I managed to pick up a few trophies and things, and I enjoyed myself. I did ride here once in an Intercentre team event, but they were too quick for me down here. And anyway, I still ride a bike, and I like the bikes, and always have done, and always will do, and I'm happy to be here today.
Tell me, you see Dave Palmer, so I bet you when I saw Dave Palmer. Any other riders here that you raced against?
Yeah, Don Coleman, and there's quite a lot of them, but my memory is not so good as it used to be.
Great to see you. Jack Hubbard, everybody. Top Eastern Centre rider. Hello, Peter. Hello. Good to see you again. Peter Collins, a lot of you will remember Peter Collins because the 1976 World Speedway champion, but for Grasstrack fans, you may remember, because I do, 1976, the Hereford Grand Prix, Ivan Major leading, and a certain Peter Collins says, come on, come in by boy, and you came by and won the Grand Prix there at Hereford Racecourse. Do you remember that?
Yeah, how could I forget that? Fantastic days for me. That Grasstrack was just so massive, wasn't it? Everything about it. The field of riders, the number of spectators that were there, it was really big time there. But another thing I really remember was being 16 years old, getting chosen for the Cheshire team and riding here at Rhodes Minnis in the Intercentre in the 250, 350 and the 500 class.
Now you were used to racing in the Cheshire Centre and also the smaller tracks up there. You must have got a shock when you arrived here.
Well, just a bit. I mean, it was the end of my first season, I think, when I was 16, and I'd ridden on some pretty big tracks during that year, but of course, you know, when we came here, it was just totally awesome. It took your breath away, to be perfectly honest, and I remember we came the night before and we camped out. The family brought me, because I couldn't drive then at 16, and I think we had John Cox and Bay Butts and Chris Pusey were riding for the Lancashire team, which were like our neighbours up there anyway, so we had a great time, but I don't really think that we won anything. But
what's that, 30 years ago?
1970, how long was that? 34 years? Yeah. Can't be right, can it? Wasn't be adding that up right, sounds too many years, 34 years ago.
Now in the interval, some of the boys are going to have a go round, a bit of a parade. Are you going to go around on the bike?
No, I'm not really. I finished racing quite early. I finished all done and dusted by the time I was 34. Basically because I'd had a lot of injuries, bad shoulder injuries, and I really don't fancy I don't like falling off, and I don't like hospital food, and I finished with all that, thank you.
Well, the old timers won't fall off.
No, I know, but what happens is when I get a bike, I tend to grow horns. You know, it's I can't just get on it and ride around, you know, the quarter throttle. It has to be flat out with me, so just forget it.
Now, talking of bikes, you're busy building up a collection of old bikes, aren't you? You're seeing advertising for Jap and Douglases and Rogers, etc. Is that both Grasstrack and Speedway?
Yeah, I've got probably about 20 bikes, and I've got a bit more time at the moment, and I'm sort of trying to build up my collection, and you know, lots of bits and pieces or bikes and so on, but you know, loads of bits missing that I need and all sorts of stuff, and I'm always looking to add to my collection as well, so you know, I'm always sort of welcome if anyone's got anything.
There you go, just an advert for you, you want some old bits. And, well, your son has retired at a very young age from Speedway. What was he on the grass or Speedway at all in the future, Chris?
Well, he's just, he's had 3 years of Speedway, and he's had a badly broken arm, and he's had broken collarbone, and to be honest, he's got a very good garden business, and basically it's very difficult sort of trying to do his job and his business when he's sort of in plaster or so on. And I think he's realised that he's better off concentrating on his business, but I suppose he's not really ruled out the Grasstrack scene, so I think when he's got his breath back and he's sort of had some more time, maybe someday maybe you may see him on the Grasstracks.
Well, it'd be great to see him back, and it's great to see you here at Rhodes Minnis, and enjoy the day, because I'm sure you're going to be a lot of famous names from the past, even before your time, and of course a lot of the younger stars who are racing these days. So have a great day here.
Thanks very much, it's just great to see so many familiar faces, and thanks for, well, it's nice to be here.
Thank you very much. Here comes, give a round of applause to all the fans right here, please. Lew Coffin is here as well, and I remember actually Peter, can you remember Peter Collins? I remember Peter Collins racing Lew Coffin in the 1973, I think it was, Woodbourne Whopper, and you beat him.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do, yeah. Lew can still teach a lot of the lads a lot of things right now, and you know, it's great to see Lew come into all these meetings all these years and still got all that enthusiasm and still sort of passing on a lot of knowledge, because to be honest, this man knows such a lot about the job, and you know, I'm never too old to learn anything, and Lew can still tell me things, so there you go.
Thank you very much, Peter. Well, do you remember that?
Yeah, thank you very much for the kind words. Yeah, I managed to get on quite well. I thought I was only a year ago, I was 45 then.
Now, of course, Lew Coffin here, many of you know him as the gentleman you see around the racing pits these days, helping the boys with their engines and giving them advice, etc. But of course, Lew actually started racing back, well, you did have the odd outing before the war, but after the war, he actually raced. He was a top star in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and I can tell you that, Lew, you've got a special night coming up at Bewley, haven't you? Because it's going to be an evening with Lew Coffin, where you're going to tell us, obviously you can't today, because obviously we haven't got time, but you've got some real stories and controversy and loads of things to tell us all about the world of Grasstrack, haven't you, Sue?
I certainly have. How I ended up in the jail in Belgium for not paying the road fees.
Oh, listen to it.
Yeah.
Well, you got in jail?
Yeah, but only for hour.
You used to go over there with Barry Briggs, Bjorn Knutson and all the top stars, didn't you? Ovi Funding. You used to race on the continent. Now, I remember, only I don't remember myself, but looking at the history books and seeing that John Gould, George Gould, Fred Parkins and Lew Coffin used to come down here into the southeastern centre, and you used to win, didn't you? You used to beat the southeast boys down here.
We did occasionally. Of course, a lot of them were riding bikes for Telly Forks and that. And when I came down, I missed the start, and I went around the lot and I played tune on their spokes with my handlebars, and they said they didn't mind that. I was like, a couple more fell clearance.
Brilliant. Lew, have a great day, I know you will. And we've got another young man who's going to speak to here. You know, of course, Lew Coffin. There you go, Lew Coffin. Anybody's interested, eating with Lew Coffin, 25th of September at Bewley Motor Museum. We go to another era now because we have another great. Please welcome Steve Schofield.
One of my boys.
One of your boys, Lew. Welcome, Steve. Good to see you back here.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, it's nice to be back.
How's things going with you now then? All fully recovered after a horrendous crash?
So they say. Yeah, it's as good as I'm going to get. So I'm just happy with the way things turned out, so yeah, it's alright.
Now during the interval, the parade, you're going to come out on a bike, I believe?
Yeah, just to sort of lap around myself.
Winding it on, or?
I don't think so, no. I was sort of wonderfully up and down sort of floating. I'm very boring, really. I just like a flat one.
Did you ever race here, because I think you did start in the late 70s, but I think you actually missed Rhodes Minnis, didn't you?
Yeah, this is the first time I've been here today. I didn't know what it was. I was quite sort of surprised how it was, really. I didn't expect it to be anything like this. I was expecting it to be a lot different, a lot more up and down, to be honest.
You expected even higher?
Yeah, I did. But no, I think a couple of nice races job here. It's quite a good track. That's nice.
Do you still follow the sport? Are you still involved doing bikes, vintage, regular lads or anything?
I just still follow the sport and just follow people around and things like that, but I don't do anything, it's too difficult.
Right. So you're going to see a lot of old friends today and see a lot of younger riders coming on and a lot of riders who used to race years ago?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people here today and that. It's been quite nice to see sort of old people. I've seen Mark Coleman, my old mechanic. He's helping down the tollers now, so he's not allowed to do solos anymore. He's a chairman now, so I have to sort of ask if I can talk to him. Yeah.
Oh, because he's got high up, yeah.
Well, you know, it's a lot of TF people.
Headbangers, oh, I never said that. Yeah. Have a great day, I'm sure you will, Steve, and I'm sure there's a lot of the spectators here that remember your fantastic racing, and I'm sure that you're going to be talking all day. Hi to everybody. The great Steve Schofield.
Thank you very much, yes.
First of all, they were working on Hilton Woodrow, and I've heard about you. I've been talking to George Cross.
I think it's all good.
Yeah, I don't know. What did he say, Bob? I can't remember. What did you do shaking your head? It wasn't all good, no.
Oh, better let me know what it is then.
Welcome back, and of course you raced here at Rhodes Minnis, I would think. Yeah, 50s.
Yeah, 1956, and the track was a little bit rougher in those days than now.
Rougher?
A lot rougher. They didn't work on the track, you know, then. They just used the grass field.
So we tell Graham Harry he didn't bother then?
You can tell Graham Harry's done a really good job on this track.
Brilliant, there you go, Graham. Done a fantastic job. That's come from Hilton Woodrow.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Have a great day. What's this? Official ACU steward. Oh, you've got a top job today.
That's 50 years I've been a steward.
That's right, but you're on duty today as well.
On duty still, yeah.
Okay, there you go, sir. Thanks, Hilton Woodrow. And we spoke to you, didn't we, last year, Frank?
Yes, that's right.
Frank Berwick, sidecar racer. You raced here, was it the late 50s?
Yeah.
And you raced the same time as John Shears, who we're going to tap in a moment.
And I put the first kneeler on the grass. I don't know why they don't use them today.
You did what, sorry?
The first kneeler.
Oh, the first kneeler, that's right. I remember you telling me last year.
Yeah, I don't know what they don't use.
You still got the bike?
No, I've got a Harley Davidson now.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Do you race the Harley on the road? You know, not race it, I mean ride it.
Yeah, I'm a bit geriatric, but I still ride it.
Really? You still keep in touch with Grasstrack?
Only the last 2 years, really, you know.
You don't go to the other meetings down here?
No, not anymore.
We'll get that Harley Davidson out and start going to the Grasstrack. Thanks, Frank.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thanks very much, Frank, and you have a good time as well. So we've got John Shears. That's
right, yeah.
That's right, we met John last year as well.
That's right, yes.
I said to you that sometimes they used to see in the results John and then it was Johnny. I wasn't quite sure which was the correct way that you like to be called.
Who's to get mixed up, yes.
So, did you enjoy last year? You came back last year?
Very good. Yes, thoroughly enjoyed it, yeah.
And you're obviously back here again.
That's right.
Any stories you didn't tell us last year you'd like to mention now?
No, I don't think so, other than I never had much luck at this track. I had an accident on the bend.
What happened?
I don't know, that's what I kept asking, what happened?
Did you get taken away in ambulance?
Yeah, I was in hospital for a couple of weeks.
In hospital? It must have been bad.
Well, I know my brother, he tore his ear and he was more, they wanted to stitch it up or do something with him, or he was considered about his brother.
Well, it must seem strange seeing all these guys sort of like 30, 40 years on, like 40 years, yeah, 40, 50 years on in fact.
Yes, it certainly does. As Frank said, it's like the, what's they called that? Oh, lots of summer wines, like all the blokes.
Who's Compo?
Huh?
Who's Compo?
Well, I'm not saying it's Johnny White there.
Wonderful, great to see you.
Thanks very much.
And who we got here? Ronyo, yes, you used to do really well down here, didn't you? Am I right in saying that you raced left-hand and right-handed?
Yes, we're on 2 championships here, one right-handed, one left, 45 years ago. And the track is exactly the same. It might be slightly to the towards Folkestone a little bit, but it was one of the meetings we had. It's extremely wet, and there were several bikes got stuck in the bottom of the dip there.
Actually got stuck in the bottom?
You got stuck in the dip, that's how wet it was. But it's always been a good track to come to. It's nice to see it back again, and see the lads going well, you know, and it's well run. There's quite a few spectators, which is good to see.
Well, I tell you, Ron, looking back at the pictures when you used to race, you look really sort of sinister. You used to see, you know, on the bike there, I thought you were really sort of, you know, real hard looking.
Well, people used to say that.
Oh, did they?
I was here to win, and you know, that's what we got up to. I mean, you know, if you came second, well, that was it. You know, I was always here to win, and that's what we tried to do. And most of the time, we achieved it.
Well, you've done the business well then, Ron. Right, we got to, oh, here he is. Here's George Cross. This is the day you still go around on the sidecar outfit. This is the 87-year-old gentleman who's just taken up sand racing. Hello, George.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
What do you think of that then? You went out, enjoy it?
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. I'm open to taking anybody around for a, you know, certain fee sort of thing.
So you'll take anybody around for a fee?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What about Barbara with the video then? I think you can go around in the break with the camera?
Yeah, that'll cost him a pint, but I think he'd enjoy it, as long as he brings his camera.
Yeah. Shall we invite Bob Ruffle to come on the back during the break?
Why not? Why not?
There's a challenge.
Yeah.
There
How
you go.
about that, Bob? Would you like that?
Yeah, the thumb goes up. Yeah, there you go. You got a deal.
I'll be gentle with him. I'll be gentle with him. More so the camera, of course.
Well, what I was thinking was you could film it as you go around. It looked pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. See the look on people's faces. You never know. They might think they've lost something.
George Cross, everybody, round of applause for this guy. You saw what he did out on the track. First of all, then we've got Dennis Goodacre here. Three national championships, isn't it, Dennis?
That's correct, yeah. He's 59, 55, 59, 61.
What was it like coming down here to Kent? Because they were very strong in this area going back in that 59, 60, 61 period. When you used to come down and race, was it hard going?
It was all right when we got used to the starts, because they never had starts our way like they had down here, because they used to have the elastic across the middle, and after till about the first 3 races I didn't realise when the man jumped over the middle he was the man that started the race. I used to just wait for him going for a start.
So you have to try and catch them all up?
I did. I had a good try. Sometimes I used to struggle with Don or Alf or something like that, but I did get by him occasionally.
So you're a regular for these reunions. I know you used to come to the reunions in Nailsworth on a regular basis, and now you're a regular here. You obviously really enjoy meeting up with all the old friends who used to race years ago.
Yeah, it's great, you know, because I mean we go from one year to another, but I've got some friends down at Canterbury, so they always invite me down. We have long weekends, you see, so meet all the old lads. And where I went wrong and they were alright.
So have you been around the pits today, sort of advising some of the younger riders the way they should race?
I wouldn't say advising them, no. If there'd have been a right-hander in the track, yes, I'd have had a go, but not these quick ovals.
So what you're saying is, here's the secretary, Mick Notes, do you want a chicane put in for next year for the modern day riders?
If they said come and have a ride, I should want a chicane, yes.
Brilliant. Dennis Goodacre, everybody, great rider, champion. And Mick Notes, by the way, this is the secretary, everybody, this is Mick Notes, and I have to say that we've thrown out a challenge, and George Cross is taking Bob's video around during the parade, actually on the back with a camera.
Excellent, absolutely, and we'll see how he gets on. He's put on the solo, but we'll see him on the sidecar, see what he's like.
That's it. Right, here we are. Stan Luck, 1973 350cc champion. Yes, I think so. That's right. Congrats. Let's come this way. We're getting a bit of feedback, so come my way, and Dave, come over here a bit. So, Standler, you raced in the 60s, and you were actually quite a long way into your career before you won that national title, weren't you?
I was actually, yeah. I was about 35, I think. I was an old man.
How many years did you race in the end, Stan?
I raced for 20 years. I raced till I was, I think, 41. And then, I don't know if I gave that up or it gave me up.
So, any fond memories? You obviously raced here at Rhodes Minnis.
Yeah, I love this place. It was used to really, really good. It was a Grasstrack.
So you prefer this to the speedway style?
Oh yes, I don't know, it's something where you had to use your head as well as the throttle.
Brilliant.
I haven't got much in the head.
Which was the rider or riders who really feared when you used to race? Who was your main, I'm in the race with Alfie or whatever, you know?
I think everybody. Oh no, naturally, Reg and Alf and Dom, his brother-in-law Tony, there was all girls, Alan, Angia, wherever was here somewhere. There was all good riders, very hard riders, but very fair riders. It was brilliant.
What about this guy, Lew Coffin? He used to come from the southwest from my area and beat you, didn't he, sometimes?
Now and again he used to come up here.
Thank you very much, Stan.
Yes, thank you.
And Dave Palmer, well, Dave has actually been reunited with his old machine. We've been round the paddock area, and Bob is here has filmed your bike, your old bike, the next bike, the one that you nearly won the championship on. You've obviously raced against quite a few of these guys now. Most of them. Yeah, for the general public, who were scrambling first, then turned to Grasstrack, and became the Southern Centre champion on numerous occasions, South Midland Centre champion. Memories of Rhodes Minnis?
This is a very nice track. What Stan just said is you want a speedway track, and being an ex-scrambler, I took to it like that to water. So, it's just a good mountain grass track, as they call them. And in their day, a mountain grass track was a good grass track.
And for an ex-scrambler, spot on, I would have thought.
That's right, that's it. So it's nice to come back and see all these old faces. You can't beat it.
Brilliant, thanks Dave. First of all, Alan Angier, I remember back in the 1960s, you didn't come up to the West Country very much, but I used to see you in the results all the time. You were certainly beating some of the boys down here in the sort of mid-60s, weren't you?
Yes, but the chaps down the West Country were too fast for me to go down there.
Oh, that's the reason I never saw you when I was a kid.
Yes, old Lew used to come up, we used to have some wonderful rides here. Really broadside man he was, which I tried to follow that,
Now you won a Southern Centre title in your time, didn't you? So South Eastern Centre title.
And I rode in the national team a number of years. Used to love it here. This was my first grass track here. I came here in 1959 and I was amazed at the hard look on the riders' faces. Because I'd spent a few years scrambling, which I really enjoyed. And then I came to the grass track. I was off sick for a while, and when I returned back to racing, I took up grass track racing to stay with it for the rest of the riding time.
Well, fantastic circuit, and I bet you're enjoying seeing some of your old adversaries here today.
The circuit's very much the same as it was. My memories are not very good.
Are you going out to parade later?
I possibly will. I haven't brought a bike with me, but I can borrow one, I expect.
I'm sure one of the boys there.
I doubt if I should be able to keep up with young Alfie here, though.
Well, we'll have a chat to Alf. Now, many of you know, if you follow the history of Grasstrack racing, there's a lot of great riders in the past, sidecars like Bill Evans, solos like Simon Wigg, but we have one of the greatest riders, especially in the 1950s and 1960s. He won at one point won a record number of national titles, but he didn't just win in one class, he won 250, 350, 500, he actually won everything. Eastern Centre Championships, South Eastern Centre Championships, I could go on. Welcome, the great Alf Hagon.
Right, well, thanks for inviting us down. It seems a nice day. I hope we have some good racing, and this place gives some good memories for me. With the South Eastern Centre, I live just over the river, and we spent more weekends in Kent than we did in most places. In them days, we had a choice of 3 meetings on one weekend. On one Sunday in Kent, you'd have 3 grass track meetings on the same day. So that was the level of the the sport in them days. It was really something. Yeah.
How did you go about choosing which meeting you wanted to go to? Did you have your favourite tracks?
Well, when I started, I did it just to enjoy it. Because once you get going a bit, unfortunately, sort of money comes into it, and you would sort of go to the ones that sort of pay the most money, or were the best ones to go to, really. So that was about it, really. But you had such a choice, and then towards the end, people, promoters would come up and sort of ask you to ride, and then it really wasn't so much where would you go as where you was invited to go,
Well, I still do the reports for Mick Notes and the Speedway Star and the Grasstrack, so I commentate that around the country. And I'm very often writing out on a Sunday night the name Hagon. Your frames are still in a lot, especially the pre-75 bikes. That must give you a lot of pleasure to know that so many riders are still using the Hagon frames all these years on.
Oh yeah, it certainly does. I mean, we made, over 1,000 racing frames of different types. We did sort of road racing, motocross, but 90% of it was Grasstrack and Speedway. Yeah, it does give you a great satisfaction of seeing them still around and the name still going about, yeah.
Now, you had a record number of wins in national championships, but you then, of course, you also rode Speedway, didn't you? How many Speedway was it?
Oh, no, I rode for Harringay, Wimbledon, West Ham, Leicester, Oxford, Hull. So I sort of did the tour of, first, I did 12 years First Division Speedway, and I enjoyed the Speedway to start with, but then the trouble with Speedway is once you're doing it for a while and the money comes into it, it does get a bit of a job. And when I was doing the grass, I remember doing sort of 8 meetings in 10 days, running all over the country. I mean, now some of them they go all over the world with aeroplanes, but and it does wear you down a bit. And of course, like doing anything towards the end, it was the travelling that I got me down, not the riding.
Now, after a very successful career at Grasstrack racing, and then of course at Speedway, something else you really excelled in, because you did sprints, drag racing, and you broke was it the world record?
Well, yeah, we took several world records. We did the world standing quarter mile, the world standing kilometre. We did the first 200 mile an hour in England on any time run on any vehicle. That was 206 mile an hour on an airfield on the B-twin jet, which it was in Australia for 20 years, but I brought that back a little while ago, and we run it 10 years ago, but we're not intending to run it anymore.
Now, I know that you came out to the past Masters in the early 90s. Are we going to see you during the break go around on a bike?
Well, I could be tempted to have a ride round on the parade, but it's got to be a bike with soft shocks and a soft engine. We no idea of going fast, but I'd love a poodle around, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm being wound up here, just like the theatre is, by Mike Notes, Big Notes, so I'll move on. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Alf Hagon. Give him a round of applause. Thank you, Alf.
Thank you.
Mick Cameron here was both a solo and a sidecar competitor, everybody, weren't you?
Yes, sir, I was. Started solos in 1957.
Well, I've got some programs at home because my brother actually raced. He raced in Scotland.
Yes.
And you were in the same program, so you must have been up in Scotland doing the tour at the same time.
That's right. Yes, I did. I've done the Scottish Championships as well. But Brian Brown beat me out there. So
the famous Brian Brown, yeah. Yes. Now you moved on to sidecars, just like they do these days. A lot of the solo riders, people like Ivan Matthews, he used to be a solo rider, now he's a sidecar man, and several of the other guys are. Same then as well. And obviously you moved from the solos to the sidecars.
Well, I always wanted to do sidecars, but my wife let me, so that was it. She went out to work, so we could afford to race, and that was it.
So now, do you still keep involved with bikes? Because I know that Rob, your son, became a top sidecar driver, and I was at Castle Coombe a few years ago doing some interviewing on the start line, and in the sidecars was Rob Cameron. Do you still follow the racing through him, or has he stopped now, or what's the situation there?
If you want, we've got a Formula 1
there's a mate of mine's got an old Mexican Nature, and he never uses it now, and he might sell it.
So he was racing actually in the World Championships?
Yes, yes.
So that means he was racing against Steve Webster,
That's right,
who
yeah.
is of course the son of Mick Webster, who raced against you possibly, but he certainly
That's
raced
right,
sidecars when you were doing solos.
Yes, that's right. Yes, he certainly did.
He used to do Grasstrack solo years ago.
When we was Robin Arbor racing, we were the first son team to race against each other.
Colin, well I see him at the steam rally.
Yeah, he comes
Selling
out.
steam rallies.
Yeah, Stevie. Yeah. Colin, yeah, he's got
He raced at 250.
Yeah, he raced 250.
And so my
He's got that. Because I pastored him on
That's incredible, isn't it?
Just a bit of a laugh.
So, well, it's great to see you back here then on the South Eastern Centre Grasstrack. Have a great day.
Thank you very much indeed.
That's Mick Cameron, everybody. Charlie Coleman, this is Charlie. And, well, Charlie, it doesn't seem that long ago since you were racing, but I suppose that, when did you retire?
20 years ago.
20 years ago. That shows me age, doesn't it? But I've seen you come up in the West Country a few times up my way, but of course you were quite a star down here.
Yeah, I started racing on the solo here in 1961.
61?
Yeah, and went on to sidecars. 63, 64.
Well, of course, sidecars is where you were most successful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than solos?
That's right. I was the last one to win a British Championship on an all-British bike.
And what was that? What bike was that?
Westlake.
On a Westlake?
Yeah.
So, memories of Rhodes Minnis?
Yeah, good ones. Yeah, some good races here over the years.
Who was your main competitor?
In them days it was Alan Martin, Jim Waller.
Yeah, Jim Waller was here last year. I don't know if he is this year. I remember talking to him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Local man from the Thanet.
But you're Eastern Centre, aren't you? Is it, or are you still?
I live about a mile away.
Oh, it's a mile away. You're actually here from the southeast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, great to have you here. And of course, I suppose if you only live a mile away, your house must be full up with ex-riders this weekend.
There's a few about.
Have a great day. Thanks, Charlie.
This is one of the passengers.
And who we got here?
Alan Murray.
Alan Murray.
Yeah.
I remember Alan Murray racing. Yes, I got you in the pictures. I got all the newspaper cuttings back from the Motorcycle News and that, and pictures of you guys racing.
Yeah, we had some good times here.
What was it like being a passenger here at Rhodes Minnis? Because I should imagine you got a little bit more work to do than you would on a basic oval.
No, it's a track where you've got to think about it a bit more. On these big ovals, it's just doing it by clockwork, really. I think with a track like this, you really have to work.
So you go into this down this camber, you go down into a dip. What would you have to do as you go down in that dip?
Well, you've got to get it. We're going the other way, aren't we?
Nick knows how long?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Well, thank you, Alan Murray. We just moved quickly along here. What have we got here?
Norman Wager.
Norman Wager. When did you race, Norman?
In the 60s, 70s, and raced here many times.
And what do you think of Rhodes Minnis?
One of my favourite tracks.
So, obviously, a lot of people are picking this Grasstrack here as one of their favourite tracks. Maybe we ought to move back in Grasstrack to this type of circuit where it's more of a mountain type circuit than rather the old speedway style ovals, because based on your experience and a lot of other people, maybe this is the way forward as well as back.
Well, I think so. This is an absolutely great track, and it does make you ride. I mean, the other ones are just flat speedway type of tracks. You had to fight for it. We had about 14 chairs on the line here.
14 chairs?
Sometimes we had about 14 chairs lined up.
Oh, that'd be good. Can we have 14 chairs in the final then?
Yes.
Yeah, he says, yeah, that's all right. We'll have 14 chairs in the final today. Is that right, Jim? He's a sidecar man. And you've got some fond memories. Great to see you here. Have a great time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Norman. George Markey, yes, George Markey was a top rider in the South Midlands and Eastern Centre area. That's right, yeah. Welcome, George. Did you ever race? Did you come over the river and come down here to race here?
I was here in 63, was it? 64?
63, 64 in the championships, yeah. How'd you get on?
I got 4th in the 350 and 4th in the 500.
So obviously, if you got 4th in the 350 and 4th in the 500 championships, you obviously like this track.
Yes, I did. It suited me, yeah.
Is this the first time you've been back?
It is, yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I'm itchy. I don't like coming to meetings. I've 65 I retired, and I've only been to 2 meetings since then. And I get the twitch, you know.
Oh, Grasstrack is still absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, just because anybody retires, they shouldn't give up watching Grasstrack because it is absolutely fantastic.
Well, we've got a Grasstrack track right near us at home, near Dunmow, Good Easter.
I was there last Saturday for the first time commentating for the Saturday meeting.
Well, you could walk
Fabulous
my
track
house
it was.
from there.
Well, why aren't you going there watching it? What do you think?
Because I don't like watching.
Oh, well, I'm sure George Cross can get you a bike, no problem.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a sidecar, probably, not so.
No, I don't think so.
Anyway, great to see you.
Yeah,
And,
nice to see you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very much, Frank. Oh yeah, Frank, this is your passenger.
Yeah.
So, is he any good?
Absolutely, very good. And this circuit here had to be one of the best in the country. We've had many happy days here.
Well, Frank, your passenger here. What was your name again?
Jerry Moss.
Jerry Moss.
Yep.
Was it? What was it like? We mentioned a couple. We spoke to a passenger just now. What was it like for you?
Oh, well, bloody hard work, especially with him, because you never knew where he was going, did you?
Really?
Honestly, yes, really. He was a terrific driver, but you never know where you was going to go.
Well, I was watching some racing last week, some demonstration of Schwenker sidecars with a steering wheel.
Oh yeah.
And the passenger sat on the outfit with a steering wheel.
Yeah.
And he actually, when the driver turned the handlebars to go into the corners, the passenger had to turn this steering wheel. And if they were doing the same thing at the same time, the sidecar went upside down.
Well, we did that a few times as well.
Without a steering wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Are you going to borrow an outfit for you two to go around later? Frank Barwick just said, well, you're not for me. Eric Burridge, yes, I remember you from last year. Great name down here in the Southeastern Centre, Eric Burridge. And Eric, you raced here a lot.
I did, yeah. My last race I had here was before I was up in East Anglia. I broke my neck in East Anglia, but I won the race here, the meeting before. So I never raced again here after I broke my neck. So it's a bit painful, but
still now.
Oh yeah, we're all right.
Looking at the results all those years ago, I noticed you used to seem to do really well in the lightweight classes, 250, 350s.
Not really. I like my 500.
Did you? But you did well in the lightweights, didn't you?
But when I got on my 500, it was like going home. I loved it. And going down that back straight, we used to be near the car park and straight down that fence, I used to put my elbow in the hedge there and go down there. I used to love that.
Where were the spectators if you used to put your elbow in the hedge?
Well, I don't know where they were, but that's where I was anyway. And used to like doing that, and good place to educate people down there.
Well, if you could get your elbow in the hedge, how many ropes did they have on the outside of the circuit?
No, I don't know. I went through them a few times, but I never counted them.
Oh, that's when you went through them. No wonder you caught your elbow on the hedge.
But yes, it was good here. But I've got the trophy from here, and that was the last one I won before I broke my neck. And,
did you bring it along to show everybody today?
No. It's a bit green at the moment.
Well, a lot of these young fans are probably going to see the trophy.
Green, you know.
Well, haven't you got something to clean up? That's great to see, Eric, and have a great day again, just like you did last year.
Thanks very much. Bye now.
How come you don't ride in classic events in the UK, John?
Well, too busy gardening and things like that now.
Gardening here, but race on the continent, eh? So, you still obviously keep an interest. You still look probably the same size as you did when you were one of the top riders in the country.
Yeah, I don't seem to put on any meat, but keep fit.
Now, this track was here when you used to race, because obviously some of the guys we've been talking to just now, they were like the senior riders when you were coming on, so I think you probably, yes, you did race here, didn't you, late 60s, early 70s?
That's right, yeah, we did this one, and then later on they had one that went up a bit further up round where the paddock is, back then, which was a bit bigger. But this is the best one, I think.
So you went round in practice, because I raced from the pit box up to the commentary box to tell everybody that you were going round and who you were. And what do you think of it?
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, best track going. Yeah, Guy puts on a lot of work here, and it's really worth it. Yeah.
So during the interval, we're going to see you back out again?
I think so. Yeah.
Or you going in the grandstand? I think a couple of riders dropped out.
No, I'm going to have a go.
John Britcher, everybody. Great start
on the track, get off.
That's it. Everybody's disappeared, so I'll go back to the.
Well, we've got some of the old timers coming out now. We've got 53 Chris Hendrickson. You may remember him.
son of Arnie. He was a top rider back in the 1970s. Chris Hendrickson, like John Britcher, he started doing quite a lot of the classic events, especially on the continent. We've also got Steve Higgins there, number 29, who's got quite a few bikes in the paddock area. We believe it's Keith Potts, number 139, another name from the past. And there's John Britcher, the rider we were just talking about. That's number 26, John Britcher. And we've got Alan Kite, father of Bradley Kite there on 495, who used to race in this area many years ago. So these are some of the classic boys lining up for a demonstration race here. And Keith Potts and Chris Hendrickson are the leaders. Steve Higgins there tucking in behind. Of course, Steve still races in modern day racing. Now just remember that these are the riders from days gone by, and just look at the speed they're getting up to here. They're going along that track, they come back down towards the paddock area. And well, as I said, Keith Potts and Chris Hendrickson are still pretty fast on the racetrack, as you can see. So Keith Potts, Chris Hendrickson, and then what about this guy? What about John Britcher? Number 26, John Britcher, who was a top rider back in the 1960s when I was just a teenager, and he's still getting on a bit now, John Britcher. Just look at him go there. He's actually catching the two riders there, and he's top Alan Kite, who's on that famous 495 bike, and well, these two leading the way from John Britcher. Steve Higgins there on the Jap, and then Bradley Kite, the next one. So they come back into view from around the big area. Well, Chris Hendrickson, just look at that. So one lap to go from Keith Potts, and then John Britcher. Three classic riders there, and you have to take your hat off for John Britcher. Look at John Britcher closing up. What about this? A rider who would have raced with Rhodes Minnis in the early years. And now of course Steve Higgins and Alan Kite just tucked in behind him. And so as they come back round towards us, just look at John Britcher closing in on that second place. So Chris Hendrickson wins. Then John Britcher. And our final two classic riders coming in. Steve Higgins and Alan Kite. So that's the changes there, and number 13, Rob Watt, has actually moved up from reserve to take 611 John Cox's place. So David Bradley replacing 495 in your programme. Number 13, Rob Watt replaces John Cox. Here we go with race number 1 then, the British Under 21 Championship. And riders in this one we've got we've also got Richard Hall, Matt Etherington, Peter Knowles. We've got the new Southern Centre champion, Thomas Cooper, is in this one. Also Steve Brayford, who's been having some experience with Reading Speedway this year. There he is wearing his Euclid Racers race suit as well. And we've also got Ben Wells. I've heard quite a lot about Ben Wells up in the East Midlands. He's a quick young man, first time I've actually seen him on the racetrack. And number 42, Shane Colvin, has been racing on the Speedway for a number of years and now riding on the Grasstrack. So the riders on the line, the green flag goes, what was it going to take? So the riders will be brought back in to line. That's just looking down, Jamie Rogers is another quick performer, not in this particular race, but just looking down the line up there, Lewis Denham. There's quite a strong lineup for the British Under 21 Championship. Anyway, we're lining back up for race number 1. 215, Steve Brayford nearest the commentary box. Next to him, Thomas Cooper. Then we got 42, St. Colvin next to him.
And right over on the other side of the circuit, it's turned out to Gloucestershire. Just over away, and away they go. Thomas Cooper got a good start as they go down the hill for the first time. Thomas Cooper had a good start. Well, let's see. Richard Hall is there, and well, Richard, as I said, is sidecar passenger there in Yorkshire, and Richard Hall has really come on over the last few years. Richard Hall it is who leads from Steve Brayford, and Tim Nobes there chasing. Tim Nobes is in third place. Steve Brayford doing very well. He's had a couple of accidents on the speedway this year. He's won a big race. And as I say, that's problem. Richard Hall requires Steve Brayford to lead from Tim Nobes, and then Thomas Cooper, followed by Peter Knowles, and then number 42 Shane Colvin. Behind them is number 39 Ben Wells. Bad luck there. So 1 lap to go for Steve Brayford. He's really pulling away. There's a good battle going on here for that second place. Thomas Cooper is being challenged now by Tim Nobes. That's where the battle is, everybody. The battle is for second place between Tim Nobes and Tommy Cooper. That's where it's happening at the moment. So the winner, Steve Brayford, he takes victory. Thomas Cooper gets second. Then it's number 2, followed by 9 and 42. Matt Etherington comes in next, just ahead of Ben Wells. Right, well, we've already got the second race coming up before we have the official results, so we'll give you the results as soon as we can. But first of all, we have race number 2 coming up to the line. There's 81 Lewis Denham, also Jack Meredith, number 46 there, Simon Tuyu from the Channel Islands. You may not see Simon down this way very much, doesn't come over that often. It's very expensive to get him over from the Channel Islands. We've also got Jamie Rogers there, number 71, coming out. So the riders on the line for race number 2. Away to go, Jamie Rogers gets a good start. Simon Tuyu also got a good start, but right on the outside, it's Lewis Denham, number 81, going like a rocket trainer on the outside, but he hasn't got to the front. Jamie Rogers then from Denham from the Grasstrack team here, and still the red-hot favourites for today's Under-21 Championship. Jamie Rogers with Lewis Denham trailing just behind, followed by number 51, which is David Radley. First time I've seen David race, and well, he's already beaten a few top names there. Up front, there's Jamie Rogers from the north versus Lewis Denham from the south, and Lewis Denham is right on the back wheel as they come up towards the finish on the end side, side by side. What a race they're going. And Jamie Rogers is just holding off Lewis Denham. Now Lewis will set up a second, he will be going for a first. And they go down that back straight. Will he make his move as he comes down towards the fifth turn? He may make his move here. But these two, just look at that gap ahead of David Radley in third place. Lewis stands alongside, side by side, as they come past on the commentary box. Holding him off. And Lewis Denham's closing, he's closing all the time. As they come round, the flag will be made ready. Now, Lewis get there, or will it be Jamie Rogers who's going to hold him off? As they come towards this, Jamie Rogers looks over his shoulder. And Lewis Denham is second. Jamie Rogers wins. Tremendous racing. We're going to be like that this afternoon. We're going to have some fantastic action. David Radley comes in for third place. Simon Tuyu from the Channel Islands gets fourth place. In fifth spot is Jack Meredith, and in sixth it's number 65, Lee Bartlett. followed by number 13, the reserve, Rob Watts. Tim Nobes, number 2, 6 points. Number 3, Richard Hall, no points. Number 5, Matt Etherington, 3 points. Number 9, Peter Knowles, 5 points. Number 39, Ben Wells, 2 points. Number 42, Shane Colvin, 4 points. Number 153, Thomas Cooper, 8 points. 215, Steve Brayford, 10 points. The winning time, 1 minute 35.30, 1 minute 35.30, with a race speed 55.79, 55.79. We go back to page number 13 now, and this is the Les Sanford Trophy riders, the support riders here, and well, right after this one, but it's the Les Sanford Trophy now, and this is on page 13, these runners and riders here for this one. And 25 and 139, side by side. Mark Giles there. Coming around towards us, this is the support race of Les Sanford Trophy. They get 3 point scoring legs. 25, 139 and 16, that's Bob Coleman. So they come back round towards us, and Gareth Whitmore is the rider who's number 25, followed by Dave Mears and Bob Coleman. And then number 26, Mark Giles. We're not quite sure what Gareth Whitmore's actually has yet. We're still the Grand Slam, but Gareth Whitmore's actually racing, so we're not quite sure what he said there, but look at this one. So David Mears, then Bob Coleman, and then Mark Giles. Over to you.
Thanks, Dave. Of course, we move into the Grand Slam for the first race this afternoon, and we see straight out into the lead. We've got going in that bottom turn, of course, it is Jeremy Doncaster and Robin along the back straight. Pull them out for you. I think we're missing a couple of riders in this one, but a lot of the top performers who've gone out there. Kelvin Tatum trying to hold the sideline. He's on the inside of Jeremy Doncaster. It's Glenn Phillips that's sitting in that third place at the moment, but the battle really is for the front. And what happened to Jeremy? We can see him coasting to the side in that bottom turn. The second place rider, but there's problems for Jeremy Doncaster on the far side. So a bit more comfortable now for Kelvin Tatum as Lewis coming past us. It's Matthew Gazario that's in second place and has moved up into that second in front of Glenn Phillips. So Watson goes down the back straight to Jeremy Doncaster, close into the centre green. This is the sort of start that Kelvin Tatum would have wanted, going superbly well in the long track series. tried to say to the riders in the pits this morning that this is a little bit of a different circuit, but what a tremendous rider Kelvin Tatum is. If we go down the back straight, in fact, looking back at the last 2 years, Kelvin Tatum picked up the title in 2002, so could he be going for a second win this afternoon? Alright, we've already got the riders coming to the line for race 5 as it is in your programme. Let's quickly give you the points scored for race 4. The first of the Grandstand solos, and we start from the very top. Rider number 1 gets 10 points. Rider number 2, 4 points. Rider number 3, 8 points. Number 4, 6 points. 5 and 6 both zeros. And then a little bit further down you should have seen 19 and 20, but they're both zeros as well. The winning time was 131.31, 131.31, 58.23 they average. So quickly we've got coming to the line. Number 7 is a Lew on the inside. Oh no, it's Mark Taylor who made another good start as well, but they break as they go down the hill. And I don't believe that's Paul Hurry that's gone himself into the front. Mark Taylor that has made the break from the line. He had an excellent start on the inside of the gate. And as they come past through, it is Mark that leads from Paul Hurry right on his shoulder. Well, you remember of course that Paul Hurry won this Grand Slam last year. Having to work in his first ride this afternoon to get maximum points. He finds a way through on the inside. And that was the third place. You can see that we've got riding number 21, Julian Pitts, up in that third spot. He leads the left on the riding forward and broken away. Work to get that lead, but he's there now. It is of course number 7, Paul Hurry. Mark Taylor still in second. Julian Pitts now under pressure from number 12, Trevor Banks. And Trevor Banks it is that's moved into that third place. Pitts trying to stay with him as they go across that back straight into the bottom lane last time. Second place is not ready then for Paul Hurry. First time this afternoon, he gets maximum points from his first ride. Finishing second to him, number 22, Mark Taylor. Trevor Banks in third. I was just saying to Dave earlier on that I don't think either of us have been that busy over the last few months. I certainly haven't. But what a way to bring us back. I'm giving the result of that second ride as soon as I get chance. There's all sorts of problems in front of me though for Martin Sturgeon as he's looped it, and pleased to see he's quickly back up on his feet. This is race 6 in your programme that they've gone out on the race 30 already. I will give the result of race 5 in a few moments, and I can tell you that was suspicious that wasn't Mark Taylor. There was a substitution made, and that was Sebastian Desario, and it was in that second place. But let's stay with the race that we've got out there at the moment, because anyway, along the back straight and looking really comfortable at the moment is Paul Fry. He's looking to get maximum points, and I'm pleased to see that Martin Sturgeon has got himself back up and running, and he's got a lot to do to catch the rest of the field. Vince Kinchin holding that second place at the moment as they go into the dip. But Paul Fry looking in terrific form. Using that body turn up over the brow and towards us on the finishing line. He's looking for maximum points in his first ride. Vince Kinchin looking comfortable now in that second place. Oh, we're pretty sure that is number 23, Lew Coffin, in third place. He looked much more distinctive like the Taylor's leathers. He's a second place before this time as he comes round. As we see Martin go past us, but Purify gets maximum points. Vince Kinchin finishes in second. Neil Taylor in third. And the rider in fourth is Rob Wilson. And the points for race 6. If we start from rider 13, there's a score of 4 points. Number 14, Maximum, 10 points. Number 15, Martin Sturgeon, 3 points. No score for 16, no score for 17. Number 18, Vince Kinchin, 8 points for that second place. And then right down the bottom there, number 23, Neil Taylor, 6 points. And number 24, 5 points. 25, 132.19, 132.19, 57.67. As we now turn the page and see out for the first time this afternoon, the 1,000cc tight cars. And this is also towards the 10 Cams Trophy. So, not just winning the Grand Slam this afternoon, a chance to get your names in the record books for the Kent Cams Trophy as well. Out there for the first time this afternoon, outfit number 13. Has in fact won this event since its restart twice on the trot. They won it in 2003, they won it in 2004, and at the moment they sit in second place behind Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson it is with the early lead. John Halsey and Jason Glennie in second place. Very comfortable into that top 10. Round past half they come for the second gate. Andy Wilson looks over his shoulder, knows it's John Halsey's got in hot pursuit. John gets a bit closer going off the top of that brow. Miles Simmons is the outfit in third place at the moment. Miles Simmons and Dave Rover. Very strong developing crew they are. A little bit earlier in the month. And then Andy Wilson looks over his shoulder. I'm sure he's expecting John Halsey to be a bit closer, but at the moment he's looking very comfortable for Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson. John Halsey looks comfortable in that third, but he's not making an impression on that second place. It will be second place. That's a great start for the afternoon for Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson. John Halsey in second. Miles Simmons in third, and it is outfit number 8, Paul Bickley and Paul Silvera that finish in fourth. For race 8 in your programme, let's give you the official result of race 7. Right from the very top, outfit number 4, James Rogers, scores 2 points. Outfit number 5, a tremendous start to the afternoon for Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson, they get maximum 7 points. Number 7 is number 121, that's Steve Smith, who comes in as a replacement, no score for them. Number 8, Paul Bickley and Paul Silvera, 3 points. Number 9, Miles Simmons, 4 points. Number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie, 5 points. Right the way down the bottom, the reserve, Steve Smith and Dave Williams, 1 point. The winning time was 140.78, 140.78, 52.76 they averaged. So 140.78. We've already got the riders coming to the line for race 8 in your programme. We'll see for the first time Ira Matthews. And remember, this afternoon the passenger is Simon Wall. 17 is Dave Shearer. No 18, Gary Parmenter. 24, Rob Wilson. 25, Colin Blackwell. Had a tremendous result up with the poster a fortnight ago. Again underway. And it is Colin Blackburn that looks to make a good break. Ivan Matthews on the inside, tucks in behind him as they go into that first turn and down the dip. We see them come up over the brow of the hill. It is Colin Blackburn that's got the lead. At the moment, Ivan Matthews back in fourth, but Rob Wilson going a little bit wider than Colin Blackburn, looking to get the speed as they come down into the finishing straight. And it's Rob Winterburn and Tristan Winterburn that are in that third spot. And Ivan Matthews with some work to do to get on the pace, but Rob Wilson's pushing hard for the lead. Oh, he certainly lost drive coming out of that top bend, and it's allowed Colin Blackburn to get away a little bit. So Rob Wilson's back on the speed, tries to close the gap down once again. Into the dip they go for the second time. And again you can see that Rob Wilson gets close. Colin Blackburn back and Rob Wilson's a lot closer to him. You see again he stayed on the line just outside Colin Blackburn. I think he's trying to get a tighter line coming out of this bend and into the checkered flag. But still the lead with Colin Blackburn. Again Rob Wilson tries to go wide to keep the speed on. You can see that Rob Winterburn noticed that as well. He's trying to try and get that second place. All gets very tight coming into this last turn. For them this time, a tremendous start to the afternoon for Colin Blackburn and for Whitelam Jr. And that was very, very close on the line for that second place. We've got race 9 now coming to the line, where we see for the first time from Cornwall the crew of number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. They had a second back in 2002. 62 is Mick Tyrrell and Tony Baisby next to them. 69 is Matt Tyrrell and Sean Yates. 74 Duncan Tolless and Rob Patterson, the new South Eastern Centre champions. Number 87 Rob Bradley and Jason Gill. And number 92, Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones, who incidentally are leading the Kent Cams event. They of course had that win at the previous Astra meeting. So they have maximum points in the Kent Cams trophy event, which is run over all 3 of the Astra Club events. Mind you, we got the Champion of Champions a little bit later in the calendar. That's back at the Swingfield venue. That will be on October the 24th. So the riders out for the first time this afternoon. Up go the pace, they get underway. Well, Richard Thomas has made a tremendous start on the inside, but I'm not sure that he's got the lead as he goes into that first turn. Paul Whitelam was quick up from the outside gate. It is Paul Whitelam that's made it into the front. There's a battle going on for third, which Duncan Tolless looks to have won as they go into the second bend for the first time. But up past me, they complete the first lap, and it's Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones that lead. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley in second, and very close in second. Duncan Tolless and Rob Patterson sitting there in third place, watching what's going on in front of them. Kevin Jones looking very comfortable indeed. They had a great scrap up at the Poacher, a big circuit there in Skegness, and they had a real battle in the final with Colin Blackburn, who eventually won it. But they really have been an outfit to really contend with and fight for everything. Pulled away from third place Duncan Tolless, who again himself looks comfortable in that third, but doesn't look to be getting any closer for the second. Kevin Woodley looks over his shoulder, he knows it's comfortable. This is a very demanding circuit for these sidecar drivers and passengers. But at the moment, as we watch race 9, Whitelam and Kevin Jones, they will be the flag this time as they come to the line. Off the hill they come and into that checkered flag. They get maximum points first time out. Richard Thomas in second. Well, certainly Matt Tyrrell got closer, but I think Duncan Torres has hung on to that third place. Well, quickly trying to get the result of race 9. Let's start from outfit number 60, 5 points. 62, 1 point. 69, 3 points. 74, 4 points. 87, 2. And maximum 7 points for outfit number 92. Now obviously the ropes were going up a little bit as we've got race 10 already on the racing circuit, so I'll go over that one again for you when we get to the end of race 10. On the racing circuit, and as they go down that back straight for the first time, it looks like Andy Simons and John Richards have got the lead as confirmed as they come by me. Now Wayne Westaway and Mark Courtney, the outfit in second place at the moment. But it is Andy Simons and John Richards that lead and look to be relatively comfortable at the moment. Second spot, but there's no challenge at the moment. So they'll have the chance to get a little bit of extra practice under race pressure. Trevor Colvin and Terry Saunders closing up on Wayne Westaway. I don't know whether there was a change in the body kit. I think there was. Danger of losing that third place as well, but certainly number 99, Trevor Colvin, has got himself in the second. One more lap to go for Andy Simons and John Richards. They want to pick up maximum points from their first ride this afternoon. And John Richards, they keep the speed on and go towards the checkered flag this time. They take maximum 7 points.
Thank you very much, Jim. Yes, page 15, everybody. The British Under-21 Championship, and you'll see race 10 in your programme there. Nearest us is number 65, nearest the commentary box. That is Lee Bartlett. Next to him, just holding back at the moment, is the rider from the Channel Islands, Simon Couillou. He's rides number 60. Number 51, a new name in this area, David Radley, a youth rider who's only just graduated into adult racing. He's held by Joe Owen up in the north of England at the moment. Thomas Cooper comes into line as well. We've also got Jamie Rogers on the line. Oh, Simon Couillou goes through the tape.